what were some of the worst things that happened at that time? What were some of the things that were most difficult for you?
Not knowing where she was at all hours. She would lash out at me, she would smash the house up.
Investigating adolescent violence towards parents was a 3-year research study, and it was really important for us to think about how we might design in policy impact from the beginning.
Thank you, Rachel, for your introduction. If you don't know me, my name is Chris Ashley from the Home Office. Here to give you a bit of an oversight, sort of a bit of scene setting. This has been a collaborative effort in terms of producing this document. And certainly,
we didn't want to do a piece of academic research that would only end up on the shelf of a university library. We wanted a piece that was a good scholarly piece of work on the one hand, but on the other hand that also had some relevance and impact to people outside of academia.
Children are violent, are bad kids, they've got bad behaviours, because that's somebody's child, and nobody's born violent. So we can fix it, we can work with them to change it. We work with victims, who we call conforming behaviours, and also perpetrators, and that's male and females as well.
And do you think there's a lack of understanding from other services about the problem of adolescent to parent violence? And the main thing that we did was consult with a number of different people in the field involved with third sector organisations and also agencies like the police and youth justice before, in the research design phase, to talk to them about what might be useful and the kinds of things they might like to see from the research.
The academic research is really important for us going forward, because constantly we're asking for anecdotal evidence to be actually backed up with some factual information for somebody independent to have thought about the issue, and that informs lots of both statutory and voluntary sector. It drives energy and it raises the awareness in terms of the statutory sector around actually they have to include it in policy and practice.
We had an advisory group of 10 people from various different agencies, again police, youth justice, domestic violence organisations and victim support, and the people in that advisory group, the 10 people, met with us every 6 months so that we could talk to them as the study progressed about the findings as they were emerging, the design at the beginning, the findings as they began to emerge, and to really kind of have them have an input throughout. Another important part of the project for us was thinking about how we disseminate some of the findings, reaching out to practitioners working in the field and producing data that was in some way useful was really important to us. But we also needed to think about how we would reach a broader audience. How could we kind of disseminate some of the findings, some of what we were discovering about the study. So one of the things that we did was create a project website, and on that website we're able to update with news about the project and about other things to do with adolescent to parent violence. We can disseminate some of the products, if you like, of the research, the journal articles and the forthcoming book, and have information about those. And we also have blog posts about events and so on, but we're also recently developing this site to try and create a bit more of a hub for people from the field of adolescent to parent violence. At the end of the 3 years, we held a one-day conference here at St Hilda's College. And we had 130 practitioners, policymakers and people from the real world outside of academia come to that conference, along with some other academics as well.
So that would enable, in terms of data collection, data analysis, it at least encourages the practitioner to ask the question, is that occurring?
At the conference, a number of practitioners who were in the audience commented that they were really delighted to now have some evidence, but that they needed some guidance, and they needed some ideas about how to best respond to this, and they wanted someone to kind of pull that together.
So I kind of promised in that session that I would take that away and take it forward, and that led to the establishment of a working group which pulled in key leading academics, third sector practitioners and government departments for us to basically discuss how we're going to address this issue. From that we decided that an information guide highlighting some of the key issues and giving frontline practitioners and service managers some pointers would be the best way forward.
I was then fortunate to secure a grant from the ESRC's Impact Acceleration Account grants to fund some of the travel for these working group meetings and also to be able to hold some events so that we could actually bring that document to service leads and talk to them about how they might use it in their services, if you like.
One of the other key features around adolescent to parent violence and abuse is that it involves a clear pattern of behaviour, not unlike other forms of domestic abuse.
And it's there now on the .gov website and there for all practitioners in all areas to be able to access and read, and any members of the public too, to really get that sense of guidance about adolescent to parent violence.
The Oxford research, for me, that's been absolutely crucial because people have been wanting that to be able to say, look, here's the problem, this is how big it is. People are using that now in order to justify developing services and taking things forward.
Without academic research, it's very difficult then to state your case and lobby government and make this high on the agenda to take forward.
It's great to have this guidance, but we really need to think about the routes from now on, where we go next, and making sure we're in a very different place than we were 6 years ago. The understanding of the problem is developing, the evidence base is developing, and there really is now a dialogue between practitioners and policymakers thinking about how best to respond to the problem. But I would say that it's still very, very early days. This is really just beginning, and it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes and how this develops in the coming year.